Welcome back to Me, I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey, where we're listening to Me, I Am Mariah, the Elusive Chanteuse.
Everybody loves Mariah.
Everybody loves Mariah. We're in the middle of our 2 LP album because there's so many songs on this album that it's stretched over to 2 episodes as well as
double DP of LP.
Double DP of LP. So let's just jump on into it and break it on down. Disc 2.
Break me on down. So last we were here, it was a bumpy ride. There was turbulence.
There was turbulence.
But we did make it into infinity, which is nice.
We did make one
and
infinity.
I wonder if we'll stay. Something tells me we won't.
No.
Maybe. So this next track, Supernatural, Feet Dem Babies.
Feet Dem Babies.
Written by Mariah, JD, and Brian Michael Cox. We have the cute little intro with Dem Babies making their debut, as Jess Malboy would say.
She would have said that in the rehearsal and no one corrected her, and I am angry with those people.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Or they just changed it. Maybe she was like a what's that guy from that movie that says the stuff?
Oh, from Burgundy.
Yes. She just says whatever's there.
Yeah.
Kind of like me reading my posh synopsis that I wrote but forgot about.
I do that.
So how do you feel about the Supernatural?
The one with Dem Babies is cloying. It's got the supernatural hook is cute.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, but there is a baffling key change that is unearned and comes out of nowhere. Where Mariah's just like, song's boring. I'm going to change it up. Everyone's running to scramble to keep up with her. It's a bit all over the place. And the outro goes for far too long.
If you're saying it, it must be true.
It must be true. Because I love a 7.5 minute song, but I don't need 7.5 minutes of those babies singing at me.
So it's funny, you've pretty much touched on everything I said. Because I said, I'm just going to read exactly what I wrote.
Please.
This is cute and probably a lot better than a lot of the This Is For My Kids songs.
Yes.
But it's not really my favourite genre of song.
No.
And that key change, Mariah, no. Talk about unearned. And I love Dem kids, but I don't need 5 minutes of them talking.
No.
I understand why when people get married or have babies, they want to write a cute song for them.
Yeah,
they can sing it to them, beautiful. I don't need to hear it on your album. I know it's your album, and you can do what you want. So if you want to put it on there, you can put it on there.
And they're cute.
But
the start of it is cute. I kind of like it. It just keeps going.
A super cute interlude.
Yeah.
Into a better song.
I feel like Supernatural there's a decent song in there. It's just there are so many terrible choices that are stifling it. For instance, the absurd key change.
Yeah. It is. It's bonkers.
It's just I feel like this song needs something. Oh, I know. I'm going to yell now in a different key. Okay. Yeah.
And then when you think it's over,
it keeps going.
Outro.
It keeps going.
I know.
But the actual melody is really cute. It's a really cute melody. It's supernatural. I love it. It's really adorable. And I feel like they've really overloaded what could have been a sweet song with
and I think
too much weirdness.
Maybe that's the lesson that it needs to be learned here with this kind of song, where it's okay, if you want to include it somewhere, because you've written this song for your kids and you probably sing it to them when you're putting them to bed and blah, blah. This is your song and we'll get them in. Keep the full version for yourself. and just have it as an interlude. Something cute to share with the lamely.
Imagine if they'd used the kind of restraint they'd used on Faded here. Like, like if this melody was in that dull song, like Faded should be here with like kids singing over it and weird key changes coming from out of nowhere, and you'd be like, well, I didn't remember the melody anyway, but I remember the key change and the children.
Yeah.
But this song keeps coming to me. Like the actual melody pops into my head at random times because I'm like, oh yeah, that's that cute song, and then I'm like, oh yeah, no. Now then the kid starts singing and she just starts screaming it at some point. Yeah, and so yeah, it's not okay. But there's a cute song in there. Like I like the melody.
I like the little kids talking at the beginning.
Yeah, and the opening is great. It's just that they keep talking all the way through, and then at the end, and they're probably still talking now.
They are. So, what score did you give this?
This gets a 3 for the lovely melody.
I gave it a 3.5 for Dem Kids.
For Dem Kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't
Who
think
were
I'm
Dem
gonna,
babies back then?
Who were Dem babies? I don't think I'm going to go back to it.
No.
Sorry.
Even then,
into
like it.
The next one, which is going to slam into the earth.
Meteorite,
written by Mariah, Q-Tip, Alan Felder, Norman Harris, and Ron Tyson, and samples Going Up in Smoke by Eddie Kendricks. What are your thoughts on the Meteorite?
You know what? If the album was this and You Don't Know What to Do and more songs like that, how much is this the best Mariah album of all time?
Right?
Glitter 2, I'm calling
Glitter
it.
2, yeah.
I would be fine with that. I wouldn't say it's her best written or performed song, but it is fun. Like she is having fun. And the impro into the fade at the end, I'm like, this is more fun than Mariah's had singing a song in a long time. Like she is going for it down there.
And it didn't need the belt and everything. But
it didn't, but
she brought it anyway.
She's there. Meteorite.
Yeah.
Like it's proper dancey fun. Like this is something I don't think she's done since Clavillis and Cole. Like since like
Certainly
Emotions
not.
kind of stuff.
Certainly not as a non-remixed song.
Yeah.
Ever.
As like an album track. Yeah, I mean,
just an album
there are a
track
couple of, I
it.
guess there are a couple of interludes that she'd done with David Morales kind of thing where they were.
But even he's still a remixer.
Yeah. But
Whereas,
but she did include a couple of, remixy interludes.
Yeah.
On previous albums, like the Daydream interlude. But yeah, this is fun. Like it is. And, I remember enjoying it when I first heard the album, but not loving it. I was kind of like, it kind of sticks out a bit. And I'm like, I don't know if I love this.
And if you're not in that mood.
Yeah. And I think I felt the same as the Jocelyn Brown-esque one, You Don't Know What to Do. But now I'm like, no, this is one of my favorites on this album. Like this is berserk. And it's quick. I want to play it again straight away because I'm like, how is that finished? I need that again. I need more Meteorite.
I mean, remember how I said radio friendly?
Yeah.
I mean, You're Mine Eternal? No, Meteorite. So I think this is probably one of my favorite Mariah songs.
Wow.
This is as soon as I heard it, I was like, this is my jam. Like this is my kind of song. Because it's just got that dance thing, but it's got the throwback elements with the sample, and it feels so authentic because it is a real sample. It's not interpolated. I was like, whatever this is, whatever drug Mariah took prior to doing this, need more of it, please.
I think it's the one you have when you're having babies. Yeah, that's the one.
That'd be fun. I like that.
Naturally occurring.
Yes. She might have been in the Rock and Room with some purple. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's just so different to anything else she's done, on an album. And I'm so upset that she didn't this was the song that was on the set list in Melbourne, but it went too long.
Aww.
So it was playing while she introduced the band, but then I think she was meant to go into it, but they just wrapped it up and sung something else. I was like, no, cut Thirsty in half, which I still liked, but I didn't need that for an hour.
That's the worst thing about going to see an artist when they're touring an album. Because it's like, no, you're just going to sing all the songs from that because no one's buying it.
But this is the one I wanted to hear.
Meteorite.
But what score from number 1 to Infinity?
It is Infinity This is infinitizing itself all over the place.
I'm infinitizing. This album is double infinity.
We're getting synchronfinity.
We are. Somehow I've managed to do 2 Poshfinities.
DP of infinity. Oh my God.
And it's been a while.
Yeah.
I had to really warm up.
I guess I've only had 2 infinities so far. It was this and hashtag.
True.
Yeah. I've had a couple of cusps.
Yeah. Love a cusp.
Yeah.
On to the next track, Camouflage.
Camouflage.
Written by Mariah and it
Camouflage. A camouflage.
Stunning.
It's not how it goes. I'm singing Sur la plage from the musical The Boyfriend.
Right.
Sur la plage, everyone looks the same. It's not racist, it's French.
Oh, God. Well, oh, God, help us all. I'm hearing it in the background now, and Mariah's just started singing over you. So this one, I feel like there's a sonic similarity to Cry.
Yes.
Like it feels like, you know how sometimes there'll be a little twin on an album?
Yeah.
I feel like this is her returning to that space musically.
Yes.
Which maybe I wouldn't notice it as much on other albums, but because this album's a bit bonkers.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, cool, okay, we calmed down a little.
Yes.
And we're reminding, oh, that's on this album as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I remember now. How do you feel about camouflaging thyself?
This feels like a great Mariah album track. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like a Looking In or an Outside or a song that you go, oh yeah, this is my secret stash. This is the one that no one else knows except for a true Mariah fan. Yeah. But I don't know that there've been enough standouts on this album for this to feel like the secret, you know, my secret pleasure. So I don't know that, it doesn't feel like this album warrants an indulgent, reflective, layered vocal over pianos.
Sure.
Like there's no other instrument. It's the piano and it's Mariah and that's it. And it's beautiful. Yeah. It's like, you know, but it feels very kind of, like something that you would get like right down the end of an album that's full of hits. And you're like,
I suppose with something like
this one's here and I really like it. It's a real nice change of pace. And it's like, this whole album's been a change of pace.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I agree because it's unlike maybe Looking In where you've had there's no actual features on Daydream, is there?
Not on the actual album.
But there's still the Daydream interlude and there's there's One Sweet Day, of course, but you've got the hits, you've got big belty moments, you've got upbeat, slightly hip-hoppy kind of songs, and then this totally sparse, far darker track. Whereas on this, like you said, it's so kind of random. Yeah. And also, because of Cry, which has this kind of production, it's like, haven't we had this song already? Yeah. Like, this is also great. Like, I'm having a good time with this. But it's not shocking. It's not a contrast.
Yeah. Whereas Cry feels very produced and put together. This one feels more laid back, improvisational. But still, I mean, obviously,
I almost wish this was the last song if we were going to do it like that, like a contrast.
Great bookending. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? Given that we've up to our, what is this, the 10th or 12th song or something, it should have been the last track, realistically. Like there are so many songs on this album. But it's just like, I really like it. I think it's a really good song. It's just, you know, again, if this and Meteorite and You Don't Know What to Do were on some other album with some other better songs, I'd be like, this is amazing.
Well, even sort of thinking forward to Caution, how that's 10 tracks.
Yeah.
I think this just delete some tracks.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like with Beautiful, Cry,
she's already
Meteorite.
She'd already released 3 singles before this album, and none of them are on here.
And imagine maybe those singles with the like Cry, Beautiful, Meteorite, You Don't Know What to Do, this, and maybe one more. Yeah. You've pretty much got a 10-track album.
Yeah, I'd be mad for that.
Art of Letting Go. I'd
be really into that.
So it's this, it's one of those things where literally, again, the track order can just throw things off sometimes, which I feel like kind of happened on the last one as well.
Yeah, and I feel like it's something that's happened with this record company. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of weird choices about what to release, what to...
Yeah. They may be trying to make her appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
Rather than just letting her do what she does.
Letting her be Mariah.
Yeah, and she already appeals to everyone.
So and it's like when they left her alone, look what she did.
Yeah.
You know, Emancipation of Mimi, gigantic monster of an album.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, we can all have a fiddle with it now. It's like, no, now look what you're doing. You're making a mess.
So, no, I agree. This is one that I probably will like more as I listen to it. I probably haven't as much.
Yeah.
So I've gone for a 4, but I feel like it's probably better than that. But that's just where I'm at now.
Yeah. I think for me, it's a 5, not quite infinity.
Yeah.
Because of where it's living, like if it had better neighbours.
Hey, that's true.
You know, it's a nice house, but it's on a weird street.
Yeah. All right. Next track, Money $$ asterisk / ... close bracket. Feat Fabulous.
Yeah.
Written by Mariah, Hit Boy, Fabulous, Dan Satch and Edwin Birdsong, which, of course, we're sampling, I don't know how to say that word, Alabeki by Dan Satch and Rapper Dapper Snapper. I never heard of that song by Edwin Birdsong. Right. Rapper Dapper Snapper. That's a fun song.
Rapper Dapper Snapper.
So, first things first, Fabulous is another regular offcast.
Oh. But hasn't she done a Fabulous before?
Mariah?
Yeah.
Possibly?
I thought Fabulous turned up on Glitter for some reason.
Let's just say you did.
Okay.
I guess why not? Maybe this is why she left the company. You're only allowing me to collaborate with regular rappers. So I wrote that Mariah must have bumped her head and had amnesia during this album.
The song never starts. It's like someone constantly trying to kickstart a motorbike, but it never gets going. It's like, and it just, like, I think the asterisk is there, and there is at the bottom of the page, it says, forgot to begin the song.
It's a very strange title.
Yeah.
I feel like, what did I write about this? I said this is probably among one of the better slightly forgetful ones. Like, it's nothing new. It's catchy enough to bop along to. They do rhyme holidays with hollandaise, which is fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just sort of, again, I couldn't really, I feel like when I hear it and I hear that chorus, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
But I cannot associate it with that title.
Yeah.
Like, if you said Money $, etc., I'd be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
No, I don't like it.
I don't know, maybe. Interesting. So I gave it a 4.25 because I thought it's maybe around the same as Dedicated for me, just because I had a slightly catchy thing to the chorus, but I sense that you're going to give it a 1.5.
2.
Just from the look on your face. The Lamley could hear that look on your face.
Yeah, they could.
Interesting. So this is like one of your least favourite Mariah songs ever.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
It probably
also
does.
Because it's come after a song that felt like a really nice ending, and it's like,
True.
oh, and now who are you? Where did you come from? I didn't invite you to the party.
We're in Charm Bracelet bonus songs territory.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we don't have to stay here.
No, we
can go on to another song that you don't like. Which is One More Try, which was, I think, again, a first listen for me. I don't remember. It's, of course, the George Michael cover written by George Michael, which I've accidentally written as George Michelle. I wanted to go and listen to George Michael's version because I don't remember this song.
Oh, you do? How can you? And
I ran out of time.
It's amazing.
So I'm going in blind on the George Michael version, but I don't always listen to the originals when Mariah does a cover. So I know you're going to have things to say, so I'll just jump in with what I had to say, and then you can go off. So I wrote that it's very, very church organy.
It is, as is the original.
Okay. As I said, I don't have a history with the song, so I found it nice, but I wasn't captured. It's also very long, and so I watched some Instagram stories during it.
He was on TikTok.
Yeah. Because, it's one of those things, sometimes when you weren't there for a song, the original or the cover or whatever, if you weren't in that time, in that moment, like I can pinpoint this with a Mariah song. you don't always get it. So I remember saying when we did Can't Take That Away, Mariah's theme, I was like, I really like this, but I haven't had my moment with it.
Yes.
And I feel like since then I have.
Right.
When I've been having a day or a moment and I'm like, now I feel like, now I'm feeling it.
And say
yeah. And my favorite part is at the end where she's like, they do try.
They do try.
They do try.
Yeah.
So I've now had that moment with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is one that I'd need to listen to the George Michael version. But even if I did, I'm not sure I'd instantly be like, oh, I love this.
No.
But it could, having heard it once and then maybe later and then again in a couple of years, it'll come back around.
The George Michael one was such a song. Like, it was one of my favorites. And the video clip is just kind of, it's one of these weird clips where it's just one shot kind of thing. I mean, towards the end it mixes in a bit, but it's just him standing in a room singing, and it's amazing. You know, when I saw she was doing this, when I saw it on the track listing, I'm like, one more try? Are you from Syria? And got out the little bit of paper and was like, oh, it's actually the George Michael version.
It is.
Oh my God. And then I put it on and I was like, I want to love this so badly. And it hurts me that I don't.
Oh no.
Because like George Michael, when he sings it, is reaching. Like, he's just on the edge of where he can sing, and and it sounds painful and it sounds raw. Mariah hits those notes effortlessly.
Yeah, well, obviously she's Mariah Carey.
Yeah, and so then at the very end of the song, she reaches, but she's doing this weird thing where it's like, is she not reaching it properly? So she has to layer in some other vocals on top of it.
Okay.
And it's like, and she kind of goes too far with it. It's weird. And the stuffing around before the bridge, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this song has a perfect structure, and now you've gone, I'm going to interrupt the structure for a little bit of a muck around, and then I'll hit into the bridge. And it's like, no, we've had an emotional swell, and you're like, hang on a second. So yeah, there's just something weird about it. And yeah, you're right, it goes way too long. Like, the original song goes long, but it feels perfect, but she's added so much to it. I'm like, yeah, actually, sometimes more is too much.
Which normally, like, with covers, we're like, Mariah, go further.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what love is. Sing it more.
Yeah, I know. And this one, but it's not even like if she'd hit the belt at the exact same time he did, and then went further, I'd be like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Yes.
But she holds off on it for so long that when she gets there, she kind of interrupts herself, and it's just, it feels weird. It's just, and I feel like it's there because she has to do a cover on an album.
I think that's something
and I'm tired of it.
About with E equals MC squared. I think that's why that worked for me as an album so well, because nothing felt like, oh, the record company told me to do that. Yeah. Like, whereas I think Rainbow had a few of those moments, like, oh, we better have, the Irish boy band and the cover of that song. And sometimes there were songs, like for me, Open Arms or Without You are probably her most successful covers. Yeah. Because one, she sings the crap out of them. Yeah. But also I was too young to know the originals. Whereas by the time we were getting into Phil Collins, I was like, I do kind of know this. Like, that was still hanging around. Yeah. Whereas I think the other songs weren't hanging around anymore.
No, I knew the other ones as well.
But were they in the zeitgeist at the time though? Or had they been a little forgotten?
They'd been forgotten, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas
they were probably on Gold, but
yeah. But whereas Phil Collins was still on Double TFM.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, oh, I think it's still a bit too fresh.
Yeah.
And I want to know what love is so epic.
Yeah.
That everyone
felt
knows
like
it.
a really strange choice. You know what? I think she would have probably done a better job of like Careless Whisper, maybe.
I love Careless Whisper.
I know, it's such a great song.
Yeah.
But if you're going to try George Michael, like, go to town.
And I mean, we do know that Mariah loves George Michael.
Yes.
So I like that she's gone with someone who she very much respects as a vocalist. But yeah, it just didn't really do much.
No. And I mean, I know she's always said, don't try and do a song unless you're going to bring something new to it. Like, her version of the Diana Ross song from Mahogany, the number ones. Yeah. Amazing. Like, beautiful. Because Diana's vocals are kind of quite thin.
Well, it's funny because I think we talked about this at the time.
Yeah.
I like that they're really thin.
Yeah, I love that they're really thin.
Song. Like, I think it's cute.
I just think Mariah gives it a nice big belt. Same as she does to Endless Love with Luther Vandross. Like, she's like, well, this, Diana can't belt, but I can, and I'm gonna.
I feel like that's one song that does not need any more covers.
It does not need any more covers.
Does not need any more covers.
But Mariah did it, and it was amazing.
Of course.
Yeah, but no more.
Clocked it.
But yeah, whereas this is like, and I so wanted to love it because I love that song and I love Mariah, and I was just disappointed in it, and it's like it just made me want to listen to the real one, which is not what a cover should do.
Yeah. So I didn't hate it, so I went with a 4, but I sense that you might be going.
Oh no, also
else.
a 4. Like
Okay.
for the majority, she sings beautifully, and like I said, where he's reaching and having trouble singing, she's just nailing those notes without any problem.
Which, like you said, sometimes that takes out some of the
it takes out some of the
depth.
the power and the kind of the emotion behind it, because it's like, oh, he sounds like he's in pain, and
I do. Yeah,
she never sounds like she's in pain once in this song.
The thing that does make me laugh, though, like a song like this, it sounds like it's going to be something that's really coming from a real place for George Michael. And of course, we can all relate to different songs.
Yeah.
And I feel like Mariah is someone who would go, oh, I know that was a special song for them, but I'm going to, be respectful and really do it justice and all that sort of stuff. But if someone did that to like looking in or outside, she'd be like, no. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's happening.
No, Kelly Rowland, you can't sing that song.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Didn't she try one of them?
She sang Dream Lover on stage, and it was not Dream Lover, Fantasy.
That's
and it was great.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen something of it.
Kelly Rowland she's got a great voice.
I feel like Fantasy is one you're allowed.
Yeah.
Well,
it's because it's kind of a cover anyway.
True.
It's a Tom Tom Club.
All right, on to the next track.
Mm-hmm.
Heavenly, bracket, No Ways Tired / Can't Give Up Now, close bracket, written by Mariah, Curtis Buttrell and George Clinton Jr., is dedicated as tribute to the late Reverend James Cleveland and contains an excerpt from the Reverend sermon God's Promise, performed by James. The song... Also,
Sister Mary Clarence.
As Sister Mary Mary,
Sister Mary Mary,
with their song Can't Give Up Now, and I Don't Feel No Ways Tired by James Cleveland and Good Old Music by Funkadelic. We have interpolated and sampled the crap out of this song. So, of course, we have more church organs.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like this has become the Fly Like a Bird / Looking In track.
Yeah.
At the end.
It's trying to be.
But this is a very specific feeling that I had while listening to it. I said it feels like it should be on a soundtrack about a high school, soundtrack to a movie about a high school kid from a rough neighborhood whose dad left. So she has to get a job to help her mum, and then she gets pregnant and everyone wants her to get rid of it. But ultimately she decides to keep it. And then Mariah Carey appears in good lighting to tell her she's going to be fine. And then she walks off and the credits roll.
Okay.
That's what this song is.
Yeah.
Like Lacey Chappelle's probably in it.
Yeah. Of course she is.
So that's what I felt when I heard this song.
I find the production choices really odd. Mm-hmm. Like there's a weird noise that keeps coming up that it's like, is that meant to sound like a record that's happening? What is that noise? Or is it someone keeps tripping over and they just left it?
It's the dog. It's Cha-Cha.
It's Cha-Cha walking across the desk. And I like the song, even though it has a Thank God I Found You vibe.
It's Brandy trying to get out of the cupboard.
like it's got a very Thank God I Found You vibe. Like it's got a real kind of like almost and also, I know they're not exactly key changes, but so many unearned moments where it's just like louder now and higher and louder and higher. And it's like, where did you come from? Why are you here?
Because Lacey Chappelle's getting into more and more trouble.
Oh, I see.
In this movie.
But I love how playful and joyous she's being with her vocals. Like the gospel inspiration is great, but there's just something weird about how it's put together. Like for something that's meant to be kind of like a tribute to someone, it feels like it's also trying to be three other things. Like it's I would have maybe loved it more if it was just vocals.
Yeah.
Like if it was just...
Yeah, and then the choir coming in. And
yeah, it's just vocals. It's just me and the choir and that's it. Like, I didn't need to hear the bike chain being smacked against the wall every 3 minutes or whatever it was going on there. Like, it's a really strange... Like, I don't understand what's going on with the percussion. Like, it's really odd. And it's really loud in the mix. This whole album, all of the production elements are really loud in the mix, and Mariah's voice is damped right down in a lot of the songs.
Yeah. It is sort of indicative of where we really want this to be a moment, and it's just trying too hard. Let's throw everything at it. And it's like, but it didn't actually need everything, which is a shame in a song like this where it does actually have some depth to it. It does actually have moments in the vocal and the melody that are working. Yes. There is other songs on this album where it's like, oh yeah, they threw the production in because it wasn't. Yeah. And it's like, oh, what a shame, because this didn't need to be.
This did not need it.
It could have been a great song.
Like if this had the production of Camouflage, amazing.
Yeah. And like even the movie would be better. Like at the moment it's a Lifetime movie. But this maybe would have, our version, it might have had a limited release. All right. So, I mean, it's the last track on the main album. What score have you given it from number 1 to infinity?
Yeah, look, just 3.7. Maybe, I'll give it a 4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look, I went for a 4.25, probably just because of my version. Yeah. Because it inspired a movie. Yeah. You can't argue with that.
You can't argue with inspiring a movie that doesn't exist with Lacey Chabert and Mariah with good lighting. But one of those movies does exist.
That's true. This is the sequel.
Judging by the lighting in that movie, you would think Mariah was playing an angel.
It's so touched by an angel. We will have to watch it. I'm so excited. Maybe that's this Christmas.
You're so going to love it.
Christmas. All right, on to the bonus tracks.
Bonus tracks! Because there's the deluxe.
Yeah.
And then there's extra bonus.
So we're not doing like Bet You God No and the Mary J. Blige moment.
I do love at the start of Mary J. Blige, like, she just goes, "This is the deluxe."
Which I think is still on that version that we did, actually. But yeah. A little fun intro. Thanks, Mariah. So there's a couple that I came across that I'd never seen before. Starting with, I guess, the title track. Me, I Am Mariah, the Elusive Chanteuse.
Oh, man.
So normally I wouldn't bother commenting on something like this because it's literally just Mariah reading the
liner notes
the album.
But because people get digital albums now, they might not read it. So she's gone, you need to know about the artwork that you're probably not looking at.
Yeah. So, of course, she's talking about the childhood drawing, which inspired the look of this podcast.
Yes, it inspired our artwork.
So, we have to talk about it. But I just wrote that the fact that she layered her own vocals is the most batshit but 100% authentically Mariah thing that's ever happened.
I kind of love that it's a prototype for the audiobook.
It is. And, like, she even starts singing just what she's saying towards the end. Like, it is insane.
I love it so much.
Like, it starts off like, I'm just telling you a story, but I'm also telling you a story, and now I'm telling you a story. I'm like, what? Is Brandy locked up somewhere as well? Like, and it was so unnecessary in the best way.
In the best way. It is pure Mariah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, and then I'm going to sing it at you, and then I'm going to have some music happening just around because I'm a musician.
It's absolutely fucking bonkers.
I love it. It's the best.
I gave it an infinity for insanity.
Yeah, absolutely. Infinity for the
this is the mayor of infinity.
The I Am Mariah explanation.
Yeah.
Come on, I was 3.
Oh my God. Do you reckon that she sang that first and then someone had to transcribe it?
Maybe.
Or she's like, I'm going to perform this, don't you worry.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one.
My first audiobook. It's a paragraph.
It's the beginning. I'm writing a book. You guys don't know it yet, but I'm writing a book.
I feel like this is a run-up to the meaning of Mariah Carey. Like, this is our first glimpse into what it was going to be.
All right, on to the next random ass track, America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful.
Written by Catherine Lee Bates, or Kathy Bates as we know her, and Samuel A. Ward. I assume that's the same person.
Yeah, the same. She's that old.
So because we weren't finished with the absurdity, or the church organ, that's come back, Mariah smashed out a quick rendition of America the Beautiful because why the fuck not?
Why not?
She squeals and it only goes for 2 minutes. So whatfinity is what I gave it. Like, whatfinity? What? Okay.
Like, what was the point of this? Like, what?
I have no idea.
Was it for something?
Well, because this is, of course, the song that she sang when she became really famous and blah, blah. But I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea why
she recorded
and why was it included as a bonus track on this album? Like, they were like, we've already done a cover and a bunch of bonkers songs and a couple of glitter songs. We'll just chuck on an audiobook and a classic American
I don't think it was on every version of this album.
No, it wasn't.
Bonus. And I suspect, like, was it like, I feels like, was this like...
Oh my God. Sorry. I'm just thinking it needed to be called America the #beautiful.
#beautiful.
That would have been better.
It's a weird choice. Like, I love it. Like, but I feel like she's done it for something, like, and then it's not been used. It's like,
maybe.
Oh, we want you to sing America the Beautiful for every single, NBA game, and we'll just play it before it, so we don't have to hire someone every week.
It's like Pink singing Ellen's theme song.
Yeah.
Like, was it that?
We'll just have it on there forever. Or she was going to play it at, as people were filing into her Vegas residency or something. Like, it just feels like it was recorded for something, and maybe that thing didn't happen, and so she's gone, I'm going to put it on an album.
Maybe this is the first rarities.
Maybe.
This album.
The deluxe. The deluxe version of this album is her first rarities.
Yeah. And a weird mix between that and Angel's Advocate. It's like, let's just smush.
Throw them all on. Put it all in.
All right. Are we good?
Yeah. Do I need to score America?
Oh, you can score it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's
I just gave it Whatfinity. Yeah, of course it is. America the #beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
And it also made me want to go and watch her sing that way back when.
All right. On to the next track, which is Triumphant Get 'Em, feat Rick Ross and Meek Mill. Written by Mariah, JD, Brian Michael Cox, Rick Ross, and Meek Mill.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a video.
A Posh Nupsis. A Posh Nupsis. Get in the ring, Posh Nupsis.
Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him.
Get him, get him, get him. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him.
All right. Meek Mill is a boxer and Mariah is the fabulous walking holdy-uppy the sign girl.
That's a proper job. You can do that.
Really? But only sometimes, because other times she has to sit and have a splash or stand in front of lights.
Yes.
DJ Khaled is here, and I'm surprised I know who that is. Because I don't know anyone, but I know him because his brother is best friends with Alyssa Milano, and that is a true story.
Oh my God.
Yeah. People do some punching, but I don't notice because Mariah is here. Rick Ross throws money, and Mariah does some sit dancing. Mariah coaches the punching from the sidelines because, as we all know, she is the greatest.
She is the greatest.
Now Mariah treats us all to a real boxing match, which is her vocals versus our ears, and we all win.
We all win.
Mariah even throws some punches and it starts raining glitter because whatever Mariah punches turns into a big sparkly piñata.
Yay!
Mariah lip syncs to someone else's part of the song and then puts her hands behind her head like a fluffy little bunny. Yeah, there was a part in it where it was like one of the guys singing and she's like, I'm just going to sing this as well. Yeah. It's my song.
I'm hanging out.
So people said I didn't sing enough of it, so I'll sing more of it without even actually doing it. So yeah, this is a song that I have like a love-hate relationship with it because I feel like it's super catchy.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many versions of it that came out that I forget which one's which. So I just looked at the main version, but we will probably touch on the remixes more in depth in the remixes episode. But I know you have some love for one of them.
I have love for all of them. But, I don't like the single.
Interesting.
I mean, it's fine, but Mariah doesn't turn up for about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
also, this song has a verse that you don't hear.
Yeah,
that is
so
I
nearly went into it and I was like, no, I'm going to wait until we do remixes.
All the remixes, there's a verse. It starts with a verse, and then she goes into but the verse does not make an appearance in the single version, which is weird.
I think that's why this song didn't really take off because
because it's a Mariah Carey song that Mariah Carey wasn't involved in until halfway through.
I feel like Mariah's vocals and the lyrics are strong.
Yeah.
But this production of this version of the song is so out of the box, it's almost insulting.
Yeah.
Especially given that it's JD, Brian Michael Cox. Like, these are good people. And it's like, why did you open up GarageBand, press play, and leave it like that? So, you know, like, I feel like a song, especially with the lyrics, like, this should be soaring, which I'm guessing it maybe does more in the remixes. But
it's got more of a build, but because of this single version, because she only contributes the chorus until the very end when she does chorus and a bridge. But it's kind of like, you know, if you get through 2.5 minutes of a song before Mariah gets to really contribute anything, it's like, well, is it a Mariah song? Yeah.
And they don't do it like Beautiful does this much better.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Well, Beautiful has more melody at the start. Yeah. This has no melody until like you get to the bridge. Because the chorus is kind of one bit. It's kind of relentless, and it's not.
And Mariah could have called that in over the phone.
Yeah, it's not much modulation in the chorus, so it's like, but the lyrics are great. Like
and I think that's the shame
chorus
of it.
is really cute. I mean, the verse is really cute. Like, I reckon if the remix version was on the album.
Right,
with
Meteorite.
And you don't know what to do. Like, you would have been, this album, this is a dance album. This is Mariah's dance album.
And maybe that's what we needed, Mariah, just go full dance.
Yeah.
So look, for this one, like, I gave it a 4.25, but I've given it a 3 for production because JD and Brian Michael Cox should know better.
Yeah. The single version gets a 4. Remix is Infinity.
All right. Just remember, you can remember to include it on the remix episode that we'll do.
All my remixes that I choose will be Infinities. I'm not choosing a bad remix for you.
That's true, but I might think they're bad, which is where the fun is. Therein lies the fun. All right, on to our last.
This will definitely be making my list of
okay, good.
Of remixes.
Because I think I will like it. Like, I've heard bits of it, so I think I'll like it.
Yeah.
On to our last
You'll
track.
You'll like the verse. It's lovely.
Oh, good. I'll get to hear it finally. I'll get to hear the actual song.
It's like you're living in a dream.
All right. The last track of the album, kind of, sort of, depending on which album version you have.
Yeah.
The Art of Letting Go, written by Mariah and Darkchild. This one did chart in Australia at number 82, which is not high enough.
No.
But a lot of the other singles did not chart really at all on the main chart, sadly. But while we don't have an official video,
we do not.
We do have a moment.
We do have a moment.
And it was requested by Fab.
By someone who was in the middle of COVID and crying at a picture of my favourite comic book artist sitting on a crocheted cushion.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
I cried looking at that, and then I was like, I'm a bit emotional.
A bit emotional.
I cried at some other thing, and then was doing research for this and was like, where is the video? There must be a video. It's a single, and couldn't find a video. So I went and watched this and cried like a baby 4 times.
I will say this week I've been crying a lot thinking about the movie The Good Dinosaur. Like...
I did that with Beauty and the Beast.
Right? Like, I haven't watched it for a while. It wasn't even like a great movie, but I just made me cry. It was so upsetting. Oh. And then I was thinking about it and I like proper hot tears.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So would you like a poshnopsis of the Jimmy Fallon moment?
A poshnopsis. It's a Jimmy Fallon poshnopsis.
Oh, that nearly went into I Will Always Love You. Mariah and Jimmy Fallon introduce what is about to happen. Jimmy looks genuinely terrified to be in the presence of an icon.
Also, she's wearing gloves, so she might be going to murder him.
That's true. He already killed Miguel earlier in this podcast. Mariah knows he's getting it all wrong and tries to clarify and translate what he's saying.
Yep.
She's gonna walk out is a reveal, feet, hand gestures. Different parts of the song is moments, feet, other hand gestures. Jimmy sits on a couch with some lamely with a smile that can only mean, I know Mariah Carey is here. Like he wasn't even trying to hide it.
No, he's never been the best actor.
The lamely smile and cry, as they should. Mariah sings with some backing vocalists in a little hidden booth. The first set of lamely are my favourite because they're festive.
Yes.
All the others are too shocked to move. Mariah waltzes in and the festive lambs squeal because that's the mating call of the lambly. Darling, gotta squeal. The next group is here and there's some unfestive finger clicking going on until Mariah walks in and the white guy who's pretending to be straight comes screaming out of the closet at the side of Mariah.
It is such a moment where only one of them is really into it.
I know. Mariah points to some notes and closes her eyes because she suddenly remembers stranger danger. She's like, oh, fuck, I didn't think this through. I'm in the middle of people that I don't know. Mainly Jimmy Fallon. The third group are mid-festive. Middle festive, I think I meant to say. While group 4 bring back the unfestive finger click until once again Mariah walks in and catapults a straight man into the gayborhood as he unleashes a sound that can only be described as Mariah hitting his prostate with her voice. When I say I rewound that moment 11 times, like she walks in and he's like, ugh. I was like, oh, someone's bottoming for the first time, which is a surprise. Serious. I was like, that's the only thing I can think of to describe it is Mariah has penetrated his prostate with her voice.
Like when she'd opened that bottle cap with her voice.
Exactly. That's what happened inside of his body. That's what his prostate was doing. Ooh, the lid was off and everything was gushing out. The gay one, who was already gay, just continues to be gay. Group 5 barely reacts to Mariah at all because they think she's a drag queen that they're already friends with. Like some of them were like, "Oh yeah, hi, like, hi Mariah."
Hi Mariah.
Another gay sings along, even though this is the first time he's hearing it, and he knows full well to have a single tear moment on his close-up.
Oh. Beautiful.
At this point, everyone is crying, even me, thinking about how much more dramatic I would have been at the side of Mariah gliding in. Can you imagine?
Oh, you would have been in trouble.
Some people try and touch Mariah, which wasn't part of the deal, but she flinches through it. Like, legit, she's like,
That's why she's wearing gloves.
Right? Jimmy Fallon waves a bit. I forgot he was here. And then it finishes and I watch it again 8 more times.
It's so good. Because I love that they play the whole song.
Right?
Like it's the whole song all the way through and Mariah just keeps interrupting herself with squealing. And it's amazing. I'm happy for this to be the official music video.
It's iconic, but do you know that there's another video?
Is there a video?
No, but there is a moment following on from this moment.
Oh.
In a separate video that is better than this video.
Get out.
So
please.
It's the group all together. I will send it to you. You have to watch it because I was going to poshnopsize it, but I cannot do it justice.
Right.
There's a video of Mariah singing, kind of singing Fly Like a Bird and then going into The Art of Letting Go for those fans.
Yes.
She starts kind of going off at them for filming her on her bad side. And she's just making up lyrics. Like it is probably the single most iconic Mariah moment that I have stumbled across in everything that we've done.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like the shade it's a forest of shade. It's a rainforest of shade, I think I would say.
But this is on her official channel.
Is that?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was someone working for her that filmed it. But she's just like singing like Fly Like a Bird. She's like, I can see your iPhone and it's like it's the wrong light and it's my bad side. Like it's so good. I can't even do it justice and I won't even try. But yeah, there's some homework for you to enjoy.
Oh heaven.
And everyone at home to enjoy. But we should actually touch on the song.
The song, which is one of your favourites, I believe, from this entire not album.
I think this is probably the best track that's not on the album.
Yes.
And probably the best track that is on the album.
Almost Home? That could have been on this album as well.
What I think it is, I think Almost Home is a greatest hits collection of old Mariah, like old school, not old, she's not old, old school Mariah.
Yeah.
I think The Art of Letting Go is where that version of Mariah is at this point in her life.
Yes.
She's grown up. It's that kind of ballad, but for where she is now.
Yeah.
Why it's a bonus track is beyond me. Like, no. Like, don't bonus track. This should be on the album.
Well, it was released as a single and then it never got a video. It never, it's weird.
I blame Idol.
Oh, yeah. Was this when she was on Idol?
Yeah.
Right.
This whole time, basically.
Yeah.
Like Triumphant, Almost Home, and this, I think, were all released within that time. So, yeah, I think it's both classic Mariah, but updated for now. I literally wrote, I think this is what Mariah would have written if she'd been asked to conceive Almost Home.
Yeah.
Like, if someone said, we want you to write a song for a movie, this is the gist of it. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think this is what she would have written. So, yeah, it feels like a mature version of something she would have written in her first few albums. But now, the interesting thing since the book, I
Look
can't
up Mimi on your contacts, press delete.
Yeah, press delete. I can't not think about it being possibly about Patricia.
Yeah.
Because of, basically what she said.
See,
it's
I
not
feel
easy.
like it could be about the canon.
Also possible. Could be. Look, it's probably about all of them.
Probably about everyone. Could be about
the ex-siblings.
Allison.
But I think Patricia's the one person she never really could let go of.
Yeah.
Not fully. Even though she tried, she couldn't let go. So yeah, I just think it's spectacular. I think, and that moment is so good. Like, what a song to have. Like, if I was in that room, I would have been making those bottoming noises over and over and over and over.
Just at the song, without her turning up.
Without her turning up.
Because I think part of the joy of that video is you just imagine yourself in that position. It's like, oh wow, I've been invited to hear a Mariah song with Jimmy Fallon. Fun, weird, but fun.
Yeah.
And then that happens. Like, she's been singing this whole time.
Yeah.
It sounds flawless, like the album.
Sounds flawless.
Because another thing I will say, I love that her singing voice in this sounds closer to her speaking voice than in any other song. Like,
it almost feels like she's riffing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to singing, like, this feels like this is speech level singing almost. And this song has a build on it that none of the other songs on the album really get right. Yeah. Like, there's too many surprising key changes and sudden belts. It's like, where did you come from? Like, I haven't had the run up. Like, whereas this song is perfectly judged. Like, when she goes in hard. Yeah. Like, it is like, whoa, you are letting go. I understand.
It's not even over the top even. No. Like, it's just, there's a maturity about this that I think's lacking from some of the rest of the album. But I do want to point out, just singing this song, obviously because it is a little riffy and a little spoken. Yeah. The melody's not super defined. No. But you start to pick it up as you listen to it more. But the one part I can never, ever get right is, where is it? I hope you don't get no ideas about reuniting, baby. Aussie accent, can't sing that. No. It's like, nah. Don't know what I just said. Everything else you can sort of find your way through. Yeah. But that's so quick and where we place our vowels is just different. Yeah. So it's too hard. I'll just dump that bit in.
But yeah, I really like this song, but and it feels more assured than a lot of the things on the album, which is weird that it's not there.
I know. The album that has this, You Know What to Do, Meteorite, Beautiful, Almost the remix of Triumphant, Almost Home, with a couple of the fours. Yeah. Like Camouflage, Cry. Yeah. There you go. Great. That's a great album.
That's a great album.
So, if for anyone listening going, oh my God, they don't seem to be enjoying this, I'm like, no, there's some good stuff on here.
It's just a bit stuff on here.
Wishy-washy. So you do it your own version.
It's a Mariah Carey album. It's still,
I'm going to love it. It's still amazing.
I've listened to it 100 times.
All right. So I'm going for a triple. I've infinitized this.
You've infinitized it.
I have. That's the three. It's three, and the first for a long, long time.
I think I'm going to be controversial and cusp it.
How dare you?
It's on the cusp.
How dare you? She walked into that room and they didn't know she was there.
Yeah, that's amazing. That video is infinity. That video gets infinity.
No, this song's infinity.
But the song on its own.
Lo-vid has infiltrated.
Lo-vid has hurt me.
Your brain and ruined everything. Yeah, so you're wrong.
Okay. It's the cusp. It's practically infinity. It's just
push
not
it in.
quite infinity.
I've
tried to push in heaps of yours and you just resist.
True.
You push back.
I grabbed Mariah's belt and smacked it in.
No, it's not going to fit.
All right, so for some overall thoughts, we've kind of touched on it throughout, so we'll keep it short. I think for me as an album, it's just a little bit all over the place. Like, it feels like a collection of songs rather than a cohesive body of work.
Yes.
But I feel torn between maybe this and Memoirs, because I feel like Memoirs is a more cohesive album, but just doesn't have the highs for me.
Yeah.
That this has some great highs.
Amazing highs.
But then we just fall into a valley for a few songs.
You know what it is? It's, obviously doing a few songs with JD and a bunch of very disparate producers worked amazingly on Emancipation of Mimi. Mm-hmm. But I also think Mariah had more control on that album because I feel like her voice has been mixed down so much in so many of these songs, which I don't think is a choice of hers.
No.
So I think maybe it's the production has been, some of the production has been done without her.
Yeah, possibly.
I feel like this is, it just doesn't have, like you say, it's not, Emancipation of Mimi has cohesion despite being so many disparate elements, but the disparate elements here don't work together as much as they do there. And it's just a weird kind of mess. Like, there's so many songs that I'm like, this is amazing. Why is this buried down here? Why is this the second song? It's very unmemorable.
I think the thing that I will give this album is that I think it does, stylistically, Mariah has taken some risks.
Yeah.
And the weird duality of it, I feel like it's got some of the worst of Mariah, but it's also got some of the best, meaning songs like, again, Meteorite and Know What to Do is kind of the best kind of stuff on Glitter. Yeah. And then The Art of Letting Go or Cry or maybe even Camouflage is sort of some of the best stuff, but a little bit more mature than maybe she's done on something else. But then you've got something like Supernatural and One More Try, which is kind of the worst of her covers. Like, it's sort of...
I feel like if you know how one of my problems with the last album with Memoirs was that it was... Like, the writing was amazing, but some of the melodies were a bit flat and a lot of the production was a bit, whatever. Whereas this, it's like some of the lyrics seem, functional, to be honest.
Sure.
I don't think she's doing as well, as good as a job at writing as she's done on the other ones. But musically, she's trying a lot of very different things. Whereas I don't think she was being that inventive.
No, on the last one.
On the last album, despite being really inventive lyrically.
Yes.
And also, like, just, I get annoyed with that terrible, annoying cover. It feels like so much of it is please do this and this and this. And now that we know that there was a problem with the performance of the last album, that they didn't release the Angel's Advocate, it feels like now she's been backed into a corner and being told what to do a lot more, which I think would explain Thirsty. And I think, it's not my favorite album, which I'm sad to say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I have positive memories probably because of those songs that are real standouts. But as a whole album, I don't know if it's... Yeah.
It's hard to listen to all in one go. It's like, oh, this one. I forgot about this one.
It kind of feels like the wasted thing about this one is had they picked the right singles at the right time, it could have been a great seller without it needing to be that great because the singles would have been so good.
Yeah.
But they just got a bit muddled, I think.
Yeah.
All right,
also all the singles that came out that never turned up on the album. Like,
it was a wishy-washy time. Yeah. I will say, though, this was, 2014? Yeah. It was the same for Kylie. That time, not just in music, but that time in her life, the age that she was at. People weren't playing either of these artists on the radio anymore.
No. I mean, Mariah got a lot of airplay with Beautiful.
Yeah, which was
Which is why it was a bigger hit here than it was in the US, I guess.
Yeah, and it was the one that got through from everyone, really.
Yeah.
From this time period. And I think it was just growing pains time, and people needed to figure out, well, if I'm not that anymore, then what kind of artist am I? And in most cases, people just went, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And that's what works. All right, so favourite song from me, Am Mariah, The Elusive Chanteuse.
Look, if we were including the remix of Triumphant, it would probably still be Meteorite.
I love that you love it because it's absolutely one of my favorites. Like, I feel like from the main album, I'm torn between Meteorite and You Don't Know What to Do. But I think overall, I think I have to go with Art of Letting Go. It's iconic.
It is iconic, but it wasn't an infinity for me.
Rude. But I would like the full Disco Mariah album. I want it.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Go full Donna Summer.
Yeah,
I want it. And least favorite.
Least favorite. There's nothing I don't.
Really?
Nothing
you gave one of your
like,
lowest scores.
But maybe Money is probably.
I was going to say you gave it a 2. I think it's your least favorite.
Well, she's not really involved in that.
Yeah, I think I have to go with, as much as I feel bad, I have to go with Supernatural. I love them babies.
But there's a cute melody in there. There's no melody in Money. Like, it's just
I think the chorus catches me more in Money.
Right.
But again,
the
chorus
in Supernatural catches me. But yeah, I understand.
An overall score.
Look, maybe a 3.5 for the entire album. I know.
That matches my lowest score of any Mariah album.
Was that Emotions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I've gone for a 4.25. I think because the highs are so high, and I do have a bit of nostalgia around this album.
Yeah.
Because I remember it at the time. But I do agree, it's really not a cohesive album. I think it's more that I play the songs I love and love them.
Yes.
And go, yay, this is a great album.
Yeah.
Without it actually needing to be.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking at the end, like, I'll sort of give everyone a summary of where the albums fell for me. Maybe we'll both do that.
We must be nearly there. We're almost up to her most recent album. Yeah.
But before we get there, we are going to have to go almost home, obviously.
We're almost home. Hello.
Almost home. Next week, we will be graduating from
Mariah University. Oh my God.
Can you
believe? Excited.
So that is very exciting. And
so our final 3 lessons. And we'll finally get to hear the finished version
of The Roof.
Feet Brandy.
Will Brandy
mixed
survive?
all the way down?
Yeah. I'm like, will she even be in it?
Will it be like Mariah's vocals on #beautiful?
It'll just be Mariah drinking brandy. She'll be like, I told you, Feet Brandy. I was
Irish.
I was a little drunk. Had a splash. But yes, so exciting.
Can't wait.
But don't worry, we'll be wrapping that up, and then we'll be going into caution. But I mean, that'll go for 3 months, and there's still so much more to come.
So much more to come. We've got movies. We've got all sorts of malarkey.
So much.
I can't wait.
Perfect. All right.
Well, we will see you next Mariah Monday for the final chapters of Mariah Versity. Bye, Lamely.
Bye.